Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Casey.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You have a birthday coming up.
I have a very big birthday coming up next weekend.
I'm excited. I can't celebrate with you, but I am excited for your journey on this earth.
No, and I hope you're not upset about what happened with my celebration. It's really upsetting.
It's not what I would have hoped would happen with one of my greatest friends.
I'm laughing, but I'm really upset by what happened.
It's tough. I don't know how to explain it to the crowd.
It's really hard. It's indefensible on my end.
And mine.
No.
Neither of us could quite make it.
Okay. I'll just share briefly.
Okay.
So, and I want other dear friends that are listening to this to know the same thing, which is that I was like, we're going to go to Hawaii for my 40th. I'd put aside tons of hotel rooms that I wasn't going to pay for. I was going to make everyone pay for, but
no. And I was putting aside money. I was literally like, okay, we can't do anything because this is what we were doing.
I told people a year ago, I was like, hey, I want to do a trip to Hawaii, like no kids, let's really have fun. And I was like very excited. And that was involved a lot of people. And then a global pandemic hit.
Sure did.
And you gotta pare down your list, you know?
You do. And sometimes.
And look, no, okay, that is not what happened. I said that to be funny. That is not what happened. I have 5 dear friends. I would say you are in my life top person I'm closest to.
Yes,
Genuinely, I feel honest to say that to you right now. We spend every second together. We do everything together. I love you. Yes. You're my dearest friend. You're a business partner, a friend. You're everything to me.
I feel the same way.
Okay. So that said, there is a global pandemic. So my college friends and I are going to a house in Ojai, but we're all quarantining before, and we're taking 2 tests in order to go and feel safe to be there. And you did not, you went to NYU.
Yes.
You did not go to
I went before you.
That's
I graduated before or after you. It's not important.
Right. That's right. A long time before me. And so the problem is that is a crew that I have been a part of, these 4 people for 17 years.
Yeah.
Now, one friend I did meet after college is going.
You sure did.
Okay. So, that's hard.
So,
but
I didn't want to say it.
Okay. But this is a crew that I tell you, this is not part of our housewives crew that we made. Just know there's I have so many friends, and so many people no. All I mean to say is that I did invite Danielle a bit after the fact, and that's never good, in which I told her something very upsetting. I can't believe I'm going to look like such an asshole.
No, because we
had to do a Zoom about health, and we just couldn't invite that many people. So I thought, what group will gel and have I known for the longest? And that's this little crew. But the mistake I made was inviting you to come and sleep in a massage room for one night.
Casey said, look, the room that you can have is smaller and it doesn't have a bathroom. And I was like, or a bed. Well, this came later.
Or a bed.
It's like, it's a smaller room. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could still do that. That's fine. Okay. And then you're like, it's not really. And I was like, so it doesn't have a bathroom. So it's just kind of a side room. And you were like, it's a closet or a massage room. It's a room.
But it is a room. They do massages there. That means it's big enough for a bed. And we would get that massage table right on out and we would have set you up.
But if you were selling it as a house, you might not call it a bedroom. You might call it an office or a massage room.
Okay. I would never call this an office. Okay. And then it was just hard because it's like, well,
and you were
like,
I don't
can I
think
bring my husband? And it's like, I said, I want nothing more than him there. Of course I do. It's just, it's not a couple's massage room.
You said, I wonder if we could get 2 beds, 2 rolly beds. No,
I knew one bed would make it in there. And you were like, is there a bathroom? And I had to say something even more hard, which is that my room.
2 bathrooms for massage closet
has 2 bathrooms. So I said, and by the way, it also crossed my mind that you could sleep in that bathroom.
That's what we do to my child when we take her on vacation. We have put my child when she had a crib in the bathroom.
But I didn't bring it up. All to say, I just want to say, I'm sorry. And what I meant by the gesture was like, I'm so close to you that I'm going to breach a very small group that I've known for 17 years.
And that's what I took it as.
And by the way, I just want everyone to know, if anyone's listening, there is still going to be a big celebration when I turn 42, as you do.
And I will say, in your honor, like, I took it as that. I knew it exactly the spirit that it was given in the invitation. And that said, I now cannot go because I couldn't quarantine, because my pod and your pod are different. Casey and I are in different pods. We don't see each other. So our pods are different. And so I couldn't quarantine from my pod because
it's hard to quarantine for 10 days and then sleep in a massage room for one night. And that's hard without your husband.
Yeah. So it just didn't work out in terms of like, my daughter needs to see other people in the 10 times part of her pod. So it really,
I feel really bad, Danielle. I just want to say happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
And no, I just want to say I love you. Literally, you're a sister to me. So I'm going to be doing other celebrations for equally close sisters. This is just a weird year.
I want to say that Casey Rose Wilson, I love you. I adore you. You're one of my favorite people in the world. You have the best heart. And we say this story just because it was so motivated by love and heart. And even though it didn't turn out the way we wanted.
I appreciate you taking it that way because it's one of the things. It's like I tried to bridge a gap that shouldn't have been bridged.
But it was done with such love and sensitivity, and it was not. And it was seen. But it was seen. It was seen.
Okay, well, I think this is why you're such a good friend, because you saw it that way, and I don't think many would. And I'm sure every listener has turned on me.
I also have an amazing sense of self, and I know my value.
All I'm going to say is the loss is ours.
Yes.
We are going to miss you. So I'm sorry, Danielle, from the bottom of my heart. And we'll be celebrating in our dreams. I love you. We wanted to make a quick announcement before we take a break and bring out our guests. It's a very important announcement.
We will not be covering the OC this season. We just kind of felt in our heart of hearts that, I don't know, with everything with the Kelly Dodd situation, we sort of just felt like we don't need to support her and we don't need to watch her. And we know that so many of these women have problematic views or things that we don't like, but we thought that her stuff recently has just been a bridge too far for us. And so we will not be covering the OC this season.
Yeah. And maybe we'll return if things change down the line. But right now we've got Potomac and we've got Salt Lake nipping at its heels, and we're excited. We have a great show for you. We're going to talk with Moni, and we're going to talk to two co-hosts of Eyewitness Beauty. We're going to really break down the products and the beauty that's happening and some of the products that aren't happening of Housewives. And then we're going to talk with my friend about flipping the state of Pennsylvania in the last 5 minutes, and we're excited. We're back.
We're so excited to have this guest. Now, she is a prolific Housewives fan, aficionado, researcher. She's on the front line. She's the Christiane Amanpour, I would say, of the Housewives world. She is so funny too. I've been following her memes for a while now, and they really make me laugh. She also has her own podcast, which is just so funny and so smart, and everyone should check it out. It's called Mixing with Moni. Please welcome, one name only, Moni. Hi.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, like Madonna, but black.
Hi, yes. A black Madonna is amongst us. Welcome,
we need
Moni.
her.
Thank you for doing this and joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a dream come true. I listen to you guys all the time. I literally tweeted, who does Brielle have to blow to get me on Bitch Sesh? Because I'm not going to volunteer.
And I said me.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy. I hope she did well, but I'm just happy to be here, whatever happens.
Was Kim there? I feel like Kim was like cheering her on the whole time.
Oh, she was cheering her on.
And I feel like Kroy was there.
Points.
There's something uncomfortable going on between Kroy and Brielle.
Kroy was there in the car waiting to then take them to Costco. And that's how that works.
I have to say, just to really get your listeners quickly introduced into how my mind works when it comes to Bravo. There was once upon a time where I did watch Don't Be Tardy for whatever that party is. And there was a scene where Kroy compared blowjobs to lasagna. And he said, it's like, he said, it's like, Kroy, your husband loves blowjobs, so you give him blowjobs. I know Kim loves lasagna, so I get her lasagna. And I said, well, that's not right. That's not the same thing. But I just love that he felt comfortable saying that to her, and she did not reject it. That was a fun time.
She doesn't reject one thing he says. She rejects his parents, but that's it. Yes. I mean,
and her very own parents. Parents seem to be a problem for Kim Zolciak.
Remember when she wouldn't let her mom go to the bathroom in her own house during her wedding?
Yeah. Never.
What a time.
Her mom was like, I just need to a private space to go to the bathroom. And she's like, get her out of there. So crazy. Okay, that's a very interesting. I saw that Don't Be Tardy is back, and I am like, who's watching this? But maybe people are.
I don't know. I think so. But then I wonder if they were watching it, why does it keep moving nights? It just moves all over the place. Yeah. And now it's in an RV, so it's permanently moving for the entire season.
Yeah, it's like when the Real World got road rules. You know what I mean? And I know some people are like, what are you speaking of? That's olden times deep TV, but it's a deep cut. But it feels a little like that. I don't need to see those people in a RV. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't care for it. No, thank you.
I don't like them in their house.
Barely. I only liked Kim when she was on Real Housewives. Yep. And then that last season she came back. It was not fun for anybody, but that's when we loved her, and that's where we need to keep her. I'm very tardy for that party. No, thank you.
Now, Moni, we told you, and we just said in our intro, we will not, for the first time in the history of our podcast, be covering a city. And, at one point we didn't cover Jersey for a little bit just because it was boring, but that was, just a different time, but we will not be covering OC. Where's your head at with OC? Seems, I guess we're talking about it though still.
Yeah, some kind of coverage, as people should expect, because everybody has to make a stand right now where if they're going to watch it or not. I've heard people watching it not enthusiastically, but they're still watching
begrudgingly.
it.
Begrudgingly,
yeah, right, exactly. Because they still get the very happy ratings. So I have decided to not watch, mainly because I just don't need to relive a year that I'm still living through the lens of not just Kelly Dodd's eyes, but all of them. Like, really, truly, Gina her take on COVID doesn't interest me. I don't really need it, and I don't want it. So I'm just choosing that while it's airing in 2020, I need to survive 2020 before I can relive 2020. And that's right. For me. I mean, of course, people are very rightfully upset about the racisms and the things, but I've always said I knew what I signed up for. Bravo has always been problematic as a Black Bravo-holic. I've never quite finished an entire season and not go, I don't like those words. That's happened to be very many times. Brandy once called Joyce Gerard on Housewives of Beverly Hills a Black person because she doesn't get her hair wet. My hair is literally wet right now. So that's not true. So it happens. I knew what I signed up for, but at the moment, it just feels like too much.
At the moment, we don't need to sign up for that.
Yeah. It just feels it's too much.
That's the most perfect description of why also not to watch. Obviously, it's so problematic, and Kelly Dodd just is turning my stomach. But it's like through that lens is not how I want to revisit this year. That is so perfect. It's like we're also in the year.
Not in October. I can't.
You know
not
what?
Right
Maybe
now.
we'll all watch end of November woo! And just laugh and laugh if this goes the right way.
I am rewatching Housewives of Orange County season 4 because I missed the Lynn and Gina Keogh seasons because I'm a young person.
Don't remind us that we're 100, Moni.
Don't come onto my podcast and offend me.
I'm not trying to. I just truly was not there. I was like, it wasn't. So I'm rewatching those, and I have to say, to watch with fresh eyes, Lynn and her family, knowing what we know now about that family and watching it happen then and seeing a lot of red flags, a lot of things that probably could have been avoided. It's a treat. It's not a fun treat, but it is at least no one's attacking me or my human rights. So I'm having a good time.
So you can attack theirs. Yeah.
You can attack their cuff bracelets that she's going to get into business.
Most offensive thing I've ever
Really?
seen.
We've seen a lot of offensive things on the OC, and that takes the cake.
The cuffs really upset me. Like, they really grind. And when she has that meeting with Fred Siegel, I'm like, are they really going to buy these?
Casey and Casey says, literally, it seemed as if she pressed literally send like the order, and literally the next minute someone was at her door with waiting to give her the cuffs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, usually we cannot get the things that we order from the wives, but this one, she was waiting in Casey's bushes, it seemed. It came immediately.
I wonder if Kelly Dodd is going to be fired. I wonder, are they still shooting right now?
No, I don't. From my recollection, it does not feel like they are. From what I see and from whom I talk to, I often like to refer to them as very close birdies who fly very close to
they fly close to the sun.
You're like Game of the Thrones. You have your little birdies.
Yes. So it doesn't feel like they are. And if it is, it's basically stuff for the very end. Like the finales and stuff are pretty much done. They're now watching the season with us and they just have the reunion left. And I think some confessionals, but I think they're pretty much done.
Well, it's interesting because I do feel like, and maybe it's just because the quarantine, everything feels like it's been 1 month since it happened, but really it's been like 7. But I feel like they were like, fuck, what are we going to do? You know, Bravo's like, well, there's this quarantine. We know OC will film. Throw it into production. And those motherfuckers are like, we don't need that.
They were like, they don't give a shit. They're not wearing masks. They don't care about anybody else, including themselves. Throw them in a room. Let them go to restaurants. They'll be fine.
Call it a day. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Well, since we're not covering it, we have done some time on it. So I think we'll move on. Moni, before we get into, because really, I mean, the reality is we're focusing and covering one season. I don't think this has ever happened, Danielle, that we've had one season. Luckily, it's a triumphant season.
It's the best season of television we've ever seen.
So it's not like we're just struck with some like jank ass Miami season we're covering. Like, this is the season.
And I have taken to watching episodes again. Yeah. I have saved them on my DVR and I have gone back to the text. Yeah. I think about it. I dream about these ladies. We are in the
golden age. The golden age of television.
Golden age, because we are, as so lovely Chris Kelly said last week, which is we are so lucky to have the women of Potomac with us right now. Thank God.
Moni, take us through your connection with Potomac. You grew up in the area, as I did, as everyone knows. And
yes, I too am a stone throw away, as you eloquently pointed out, being from Alexandria, Virginia. I have constantly on my podcast talked about Beltway living and what Beltway lifestyle is like being from there.
Beltway living!
That has got to be a magazine.
I hope someone puts it up. I mean, it's okay. I'll give it away for free.
No, you get the credit.
You can have it.
I don't want to take it. I won't give you credit from here on out in conversation, but I will give you credit here.
Okay. Thank you. I have talked about it very explicitly and at nauseum of how no one lives and works in just one place. It is not really like one city, even though they named it Potomac. They're all going to live all over the place. I've talked, I was on Danny Pellegrino's podcast and we broke down a little bit who the richest wives could be based on their homes and the housing values that I know about that area. Because what else am I good for growing up in a sleepy little state called Maryland, if not to talk about who is rich and who is not? Because we finally got our housewives.
And do you want to grace us with those statistics?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing them if you don't mind.
You don't mind.
Quick rundown. I mean, it starts with Monique being that she actually owns a home in Potomac. That is going to be highest in property value. And a second
home that has another home farther down.
Yeah, she has a golf cart to get to the house on the house's land. And then Karen, if she is truly leasing or owning,
unclear.
It might be high in rent. It is unclear. The rent might be high because it is Potomac. I would say Dr. Wendy's is probably next. She's not in Potomac, but she is Potomac adjacent in that Rockville, Bethesda area.
And Bethesda is so expensive.
Better than Potomac. I think it's even prettier. It's amazing. The houses are gorgeous. And then you have an Ashley Darby who has a very lovely penthouse, but it is in Virginia. And people tend to move to Virginia because it's a touch cheaper.
Wow, that hurts.
No, it's more
you're like, it's more about you don't have money.
No, everyone gets a bedroom, right?
Right. About your bar closed down and you don't have anywhere else to live.
Now that's true. I mean, that did happen.
It's like when people are like, well, if you go to New Jersey, you get so much more for your money. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not Manhattan, you know?
That's exactly what that part of Alexandria is. And she's in the city, which basically means they really wanted to be in DC, but that's about 3 times the same rent. So they're not doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
Robin would be the least wealthy. She is in a very lovely area, but it is far. It is all the way out in Baltimore area adjacent. Not even in Baltimore.
She's out in
she
Baltimore?
lives in a neighborhood by Baltimore. That's why she's always late to DCA, the airport. She's like an hour and 50 minutes away.
And late to every event. She was on time for the wine thing. And I saw people turn like, Robin? Like, that's how I am.
She must have left very early. Yes, she is not far from Baltimore. Her husband is actually the head coach at Coppin State University, I believe. So that's in Baltimore. So they're far.
It seems you know.
Yeah. May or may not have looked up his salary. Unimportant.
No, it's very important. Please, it's very important.
What do we have here if we can't denigrate each other's incomes during a pandemic?
It does make sense that he is making good money. It does make sense that Robin may have forgotten to tell the IRS about it. Forgotten, purposely left out. We don't know. Unclear. All alleged.
Do you feel like this week first of all, the tragic scene where Robin dressed up in an Elvira wig to go out to a bar to titillate and turn on her husband. Do you think that she mentioned that whole thing about the IRS so that he could be like, you messed up because maybe he's got a good job and like didn't want that heat on him? Was it planned?
I feel that Robin does not wake up for anything. You guys have often referred to her as the sleepiest housewife. I think she doesn't even wake up for her own taxes. I think truly nothing alarms her. Like her chill.
She doesn't even seem alarmed by this. She's like, oh, I made a mistake.
And it's interesting that she feels this way because she did inform us that a big part of their divorce and her husband cheating on her was because she kind of, fumbled the money. So to fumble the money again and expect him to also give you a ring seems like a risk. She seems very sure of herself.
And also, because I know people who have fumbled their money. They've done a bad job. They were artists.
It happens. Or you don't have enough money to not fumble it.
Yeah whatever. We've been young. We've been stupid. We've been uninformed. Yeah. And we've made mistakes. But then to give her the reins again, to someone who crashed a car, hasn't had lessons, and then you give them the keys again. What are we doing? You find an accountant. Yeah. You have them do it.
Honestly, even an online program.
It felt very Abby Lee Miller, like Dance Moms-esque to me. It's just like, we see you making money and you're telling the IRS you didn't make it, but you purchased homes. You flipped
We're
homes.
Literally making you money by seeing
We are making you
money. You guys taking a little glance at Dance Moms this new season?
I did not know there was one. I'm so happy Abby Lee is back to doing what she does best.
Which is teaching the moms?
I don't know what that is, but great for her.
She's a monster. I watched it at the beginning, way back when they were dance children, and then I've since given up.
Yes, they're all very grown now.
Casey, have you been, up in the Dance Moms biz?
Yes.
With Abby Lee Miller?
Yes, I have.
What is she up to?
Yes, I have, Danielle. I'm going to blame this on my niece who's 10, and she was like, have you seen Dance Moms? And I was like, yeah, I barely watch it. And then we proceeded to inject like 30 of the new episodes. It's as wild as ever. Wow. She's such a mean person. And I obviously have such sympathy for what she's gone through, which is a ton, but she has no redeeming interpersonal qualities.
Yeah, I think that's a
She's just mean.
Mm-hmm. She does make a good star.
Absolutely.
She makes a very good star. The girls from the previous, that JoJo Siwa, she is doing numbers on these children.
Is JoJo Siwa
She's a Dance Mom alum. Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you, my daughter said this to me because my daughter's obsessed with JoJo Siwa, and she goes, "She's from Dance Moms," and I go, "No, that's not true." She goes, "Yes, she is."
No, she really is. Abby was horrid to her, and the mother was put up with a lot, but she had great stage presence. Not the best in her turns. She definitely sickled that foot quite a lot, and Abby did not appreciate it. However, she could perform her tail off. Give her a hip hop, a musical theater number, or jazz, and she is up there, and it's showing. It's working out for her.
My daughter has written letters to JoJo Siwa and fan mail, and has gotten letters back, and it's been quite an interesting pen pal. Well, it's not like it's like an adult. It's an adult writing to my child as JoJo Siwa. It's fine, but whatever.
Yes. As a teacher, I've recognized very quickly that is a name you need to know. The children will often reference her, and she is...
Reference that little side pony.
Have you seen the meme, ladies, where it's... Have you seen... It's JoJo next to Erica Jane, and it goes, "Remember JoJo Siwa? This is her now. Feel old yet?"
Oh, no!
And it's Erica Jane compared to JoJo Siwa, and Erica has a very large bow just as well.
It's
a fun one.
God.
Speaking of memes, you are a meme meister. You are
a memeaholic
at it. And
Thank you.
Yes, and here's a meme that I have to bring up because it was so funny to me. So you wrote, it's Nene. And you wrote, "When all you've been doing is watching good TV and someone brings up the drama of a real person you should know." And it's Nene going, "Who?"
Because I don't know those people. I don't know her. Like, literally, Mariah Carey. I just know housewives. And I bring it up to people that know them not at all. And they look at me very strange. But I tell them this should mean something to you.
I appreciate that. That really made me laugh.
Tell us why you're going by one name, because I actually think it's even cooler than why most people go by one name.
It's honestly because I mean, it's not hidden. I did have someone reach out to me and say that they found it in the depths of Facebook, and I was like, well, that's not scary. But thank you for being a fan, I guess. It's because I am a teacher. Though this year I am not teaching because of the pandemic. I am actually getting my master's and really doubling down on this education thing.
Wow.
Your master's in Bravo?
I'm getting it.
So.
I wish.
You'd be teaching.
If they had degrees, I would be I'd be Wendy.
You'd be tenured.
PhD. Hello. I am getting it in elementary education, and I just want to protect the dignity of the students. And especially, maybe a mom listens in the car. I don't want them going, "That's my teacher." And the mom going, "No, it's not." I'd prefer they be confident in the "no, it's not," and not be, "That is her." And then we have issues, or maybe they don't like what I said and want to pull their child out of my class. I don't know. But it seems safer.
If anything, I'd want my kid to be transferred into
I was going to say, I would love to transfer. I would love it.
Thank you. I mean, I think it helps me really empathize and break down the housewives even better, because I deal with having to break down real life concepts from a grand scale for fourth graders and third graders and second graders. So.
And you're used to dealing with tantrums and children, and you're ready.
Exactly. So, the women don't bother me.
Can we hear some of your just sweeping views? And I know that's a big question, but just any overall views that you feel you need to share about different franchises. And then, of course, we're going to get into the minutia of these last 2 weeks of Potomac. But I'm just curious, since you are such a historian.
Sure. I feel that DC was before its time. I also think there's no... I also think that there is no place currently for it to come back under the same realm that it did before. They would not be able to get the same people, but I did really love DC. I thought...
Me too.
Miami was great. I don't always get the hype that everyone else has about it, but I do think it was good. I liked the years that Kim was on with Nene. I think Atlanta season 3 is the best season of Housewives television I've ever seen in my entire life.
Atlanta season 3. Okay.
Yes, I am able to rewatch that a million times over. There's a wonderful scene very quickly where Phaedra is making salmon, bacon, eggs, potatoes for her husband Apollo, the ex-convict, and she is in a very frilly robe, and all you hear as she talks about the bacon and serving and pleasing her man is Nene in the background. Don't see her, just hear her go, Apollo is a convict. He is a criminal. Maybe Phaedra met him representing him because she's a lawyer and he's a criminal. And I have never recovered. And so I really implore people to go rewatch that. OC to me has been dead long before this season. So I'm not really shocked that I probably wouldn't have wanted to watch it regardless. Beverly Hills, I think, could be retired, and I think we can move to other cities in California. It's huge. We might as well. Dallas is also one that I'm like, Texas is huge. Pick another city. So, and Potomac to me is number one. It's been number one long before, even this season. And I think it will stay number one. And I am worried for New York.
What's that?
I'm worried for New York. I'm worried.
That's what I heard. Why?
I would like I enjoy that they are trying to integrate and create diversity. I worry what that looks like with some of the loose cannon behavior that we have already. And if the way they regarded Aaliyah, is simply just urban and just a little slightly different than what they are used to.
Slightly younger.
That went down. It was, Dorinda calling her gangster because she, wore a dress with a rapper on it, or really just a black woman. I highly doubt Dorinda even knew who Little Kim really was. I think she was just like, wow, a mugshot, a black woman, you're a gangster. And I dig it. I used to wear sweatshirts with dictators on them in the 80s. And I go, well, that's not the same thing. So I'm worried, but I am excited to see what happens.
Is your heart open?
My heart is open. But
you're protecting it.
Yes, I've actually opened my heart even more to Leah. I was more adversely against her because of who she was as a individual. Prior knowledge had really stressed me out.
Was that kind of the text exchange or the dating exchange she'd had?
It was that. It was some pieces that she wrote for particular publications.
Oh, I didn't read any of those. Okay.
I am not a fan of, I love The View, but Meghan McCain was on The View and she was like very avidly pro Leah because Leah wrote for her husband's publication. And I was like, well, this makes me anxious. and I didn't look too deeply into it. But when people said things to me, I was like, eh. And then also there's the whole, declaration of having any kind of involvement in the origin of streetwear, whereas I have a very different relationship as a person of color with streetwear, its origin, and how we are regarded in it. And so it felt like there were some missed opportunities, but I will say my mind has changed briefly and my heart is open because Sasha from the Bravo Breakdown had a conversation with me after she had a conversation with Leah and gave me some insight that Leah is actually very open to having these kinds of conversations and to criticism about race and things like that. And that does not happen, especially on New York, honey. So I was like,
it doesn't happen on any of the housewives. Yeah.
So my heart is open and I enjoy New York, but I am an avid Bethany person. This might turn people off. I'm sorry, but I loved Bethany. So I've struggled to connect since, but I think Luann is having the best time of her life and I'm happy to watch it.
Me too.
Yes. She's giving us a lot of joy.
She's giving a lot.
And she looks better than I've ever seen anyone look.
Amazing.
Like she is really great.
So is that just must have been the alcohol?
Maybe I don't know because now she's drinking again. So is it going to go away?
Yeah. Well, she is drinking it, but I think the breakups affected her skin.
Maybe. Yes. Don't let it be about Tom, and it made her break out instantly.
The Tom, the alcohol and you're going to break up and break out. But I think she was tired. She was now she's glowing. I think she's finally over Tom. I think she's fucking like a sailor at port. I think she's getting laid every second of the day, and that makes you glow. I think she's doing well.
And I will say, I've always thought that though I didn't know Leah personally and I had prior convictions of her before the season, she did wonders on this season. She did very well for this show and they need her. And I think that she will go very far because of it and it will drive Ramona crazy. And I'm really here for that.
Especially because the new housewife they've added is younger. And I can already see, at least from Instagram, like she and Leah are going to team up.
Yeah. Gorgeous. This will be fun.
She and Leah, because Leah didn't really have any muscle in Tinsley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just like a sidekick nobody liked. And Leah, I thought Leah did a good job of like remaining loyal to her while kind of knowing she needed to like get the other women on board. But I feel like this is going to be a duo that can really take on Ramona.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's my hope.
Yes. And also just somebody that anyone who says, especially when Ramona says like, oh, you're embarrassing me or something like that. I think she has someone on her side, someone young and fresh to be like, no, you're embarrassing us. It's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
You're rude. You're disgusting.
And my friend is close with this new housewife and I'm hearing good things. That's what I'm going to say.
Yes.
That she's
I think
funny,
there are good things there.
And is going to really not afraid to say what we all need to hear. And I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited. Okay. And lastly, I want to ask, what do you think about Nene leaving and Dorinda leaving?
I think both were asked to leave, and I think there is a difference there.
You think Nene was asked to leave?
I
just felt like they couldn't come to a money situation. Like she just felt like she
Nene believes she was asked to leave.
Based on what she was offered.
Yes. I think the level of disrespect that she feels that took place makes her feel like they did not value her and want her to stay.
From a financial perspective, like what she was offered?
I think financially and also just, hey, girl, we did not think we don't need you as much as we thought we would. The seasons where she was not on did not suffer. And the seasons when she was back did not explode as much as they thought it would. So I think that she felt a little slighted by it. I'm an avid Nene person. I do believe that she has a lot of flaws, but also it is Housewives. They all do. But at the same time, Nene has given us more memes, more information, more content than any other Housewives ever in history. So I'm worried without her what will happen, but I definitely think it was time for Dorinda to go. I think it was even time for Nene to go. I think Nene was resenting Housewives, but didn't want to see them go on without her. And that was a terrible place to be.
No, that's like a relationship that you're in because you've put in so much time, but you really kind of hate the person. And so it just doesn't go well. Your heart has to be in something.
And they have, they do have Portia and they do have Kenya, and they are forces. So even when we are without Nene, we do have these two dynamos. They don't need to pay as much for Nene in the sense that they have other people keeping them going, doing, similar jobs, even if it's sort of two people for the price of one, basically.
And that's the beauty of Housewives. Like right there, that's the beauty, which is like, I remember when Phaedra left and when Sheree left, I was like, we have nothing. We have nothing. Like we're never going to come back from this. And it's like, then a new class comes in and, like Portia, you get your sea legs and she kind of comes out of her shell and came into her own. And then it's like, oh, we've got stars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think surrounding Cynthia's wedding alone, I think we're going to get a lot of content. And it's going to be an event.
Are they filming now during this wedding?
So they filmed everything up until we were all very excited to see Cynthia's wedding she was going to be the first housewife ever to have two weddings, like real husbands on the show. And
that's a shock.
They did not film the wedding. Allegedly, Bravo canceled last minute, like a couple of days before. I'm like, hey, girl, 250 people in a pandemic, not going to go over well for the other people who literally can't go anywhere but to get curbside. They're not going to enjoy that. I currently live in Georgia, so I have often been telling people on social media, it's a wild, wild west. In the East, we are in a very weird place. I am the only person here that feels like they're wearing a mask, that is getting things to go.
Really?
It is difficult. I mean, everything is open. There is almost zero restriction right now.
That would infuriate me to see people without a mask.
Oh, it's everywhere.
In California, we are still very locked down. I mean,
not at all.
At least
here.
For me, we are. Everyone's in a mask.
My kid hasn't been on a playground.
Each other.
Nothing.
Oh, like the schools are open. The playgrounds are open. I drove by one the other day and all the children were having a grand old time. They're back into full in-person classes 4 days a week with middle days.
Do they have to wear masks to class?
They do have to wear masks in the class unless they're eating snack, I believe. And it's pretty much on the teachers to, make sure that everybody keeps their own mask and everybody's okay and all that. So when I saw her wedding, I was not shocked. What Cynthia put in the People magazine article of all the protocols were put in place definitely reminds me of what happens here, is where all the stores are like, hey, we're doing all these things, so you're allowed to come and have fun, but then it's not really practiced. And so I think Bravo just didn't want that responsibility. I think the producers were afraid of contracting something, which I can understand. So, but also 250 people for your second wedding also feels like a choice.
But also, why can't you wait 8 months? Like, with love, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think they're going to have kids.
No, wait.
Why can't you wait and then have like the wedding of your dreams? And
wait, or have a small one.
And Kelly Dodd did have a small wedding apparently,
and I would be disappointed if I was engaged. I totally get that, or maybe I don't get it. I would be disappointed, but like, I'm turning 40 next week, and guess what? I'm not. I'm waiting because there's no.
Yeah.
What can we do? I'm fine to stay 39.
My golden birthday and my next birthday are probably both going to be in quarantine, and that's fine. That's very fine with me. I'd rather, live and celebrate it in a small space than celebrate it and maybe risk not living. But at the same time, I wasn't shocked as being someone in Georgia. 250 people just feels like a lot for a second wedding in general. And I think we are in a very weird time and universe where Kelly Dodd had a much more restricted wedding than Cynthia. But I also think that is because of the contrast of where they both live.
Okay. Shall we take a quick break and then get into Potomac?
Yes, please. Guys, we're back with Potomac, and we're also back with some huge breaking news that was revealed yesterday by some eagle-eyed Potomac viewer.
By some hero.
It was found on the Reddit. This is a genius. We have all been gifted with footage of one Michael Darby.
The one and only.
Pinching bottoms.
The one and only piece of shit.
Pinching bottoms of cameramen in the first season. Now this,
I'm sorry to laugh, but how many bottoms is this man going to pinch?
I'm sorry to laugh because it's such a weird fetish. It's such a creepy, fucked up, half painful, half childish, so fucked up. It's so.
He looks like a little leprechaun. It's in the background of a scene that had aired. That means if one scene randomly had aired where he was pinching bottoms, another one aired at Monique's party, pinching bottoms. He's pinched 1 million bottoms. I'm shocked they've let him back on.
I don't understand. And it's now the truth. Does that cameraman that had sued before, does he get vindicated? What happens now? We all know.
I mean, he's already been vindicated in my eyes.
Oh, well, yes, but
mm-hmm.
But I believe he pressed charges. What happens now? We have proof. Do we reopen the case? Does the district attorney come in? What happens? Is this for Law and Order?
Well, I can tell you the circuit courts of Montgomery County, Maryland are not interested in reopening that. I do think
I call for it. Reopen the case.
I think, he deserves some justice. I've often used the parallel, but for people who watch Potomac since day one, or at least binged it recently, I have watched since day one, there was an allegation that he pinched Andrew's butt, who is ex-housewife Katie, ex-boyfriend. And that was also on camera. It was during a party.
Thought you meant Andrew Cohen. Go on.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure he has not thought about it, done it. But he pinched a booty at a party on the season 1. That's 2 booties in 1 season. So we are really racking up mileage on the booty grabs. So,
and the way he did it, again, I don't mean to laugh, but please look up this footage. Do you think the editors saw it and put it in the way those illustrators, the cartoonists on Little Mermaid made a penis on the cover? They just put it in as a little, what do they call it? Easter egg for us? Because they're just this man's pinching bottoms left, right, and center. We're going to cut out a bunch and we're going to let it slide.
And he sneaks around.
Or is he pinching so many they truly didn't know?
I think season 1, it was very difficult for them to even filter things. I think there was no rules.
It was the wild, wild west.
It was a no holds bar. We're just truly getting things out. And I think that they never expected this to become such a
storyline,
a narration around him, like a narrative of I am a booty grabber. That is my thing. Hi, my name is Michael. I grab booty.
Times have changed. You can't just go around pinching bottoms. Like, it's just not.
I'd argue you couldn't do it when the times were not changed.
You could never
back
do
in whatever
it.
times we changed from. Please don't grab a booty without asking.
You could never do it, and he's done it so many times. And the way I can't even just. How do you describe the way he creeps over like a? I don't even know what it is. What is
like
it?
He creeps around like a little gremlin. Like,
yes.
Like he's just kind of like skittering, or like in Jurassic Park. Remember when the velociraptors are sort of like creeping around the corner in that one scene? Like he's like a velociraptor with tiny little pinching hands.
The fact that he's doing that, knowing he's on camera. I mean, what has he done off camera? Like, he's a predator.
And did you see that cameraman's reaction?
Oh, yes.
He bent almost all the way to the ground, almost full bow. Like, oh no, please remove your hands off my ass.
Please.
Please do.
Please, sir.
Like, I felt in his physicality the same thing I heard in that cameraman's voice from last season. The assertiveness of, do not do that again. And I was like, wow, this man's really preying on booties. And he's just grabbing people. Like, I really need you to stop.
I really need him to stop. It's a compulsion. Yeah. It doesn't seem he's grabbing Ashley's.
That is true.
What is Ashley going to say now? You know what she's going to say. You know, Michael's a very sweet guy. He just thinks he's playing. He just wants to be friendly with people. And it's not everybody's bag, pinching bottoms.
No, it's not anybody's bag.
My theory about Ashley is that she's playing a long game. I tweeted once, I see it in her edges, the way they are so perfectly laid. And she does, and edge work, I have hair very similar to Ashley's. Edge work is difficult. It's an additional task to lay them down. That is not the work of someone who is stressed about their husband being a cheater. It is only the focus you can have where you get that toothbrush and put that eco styling gel on those edges when you know you're going to be fine. I think she's so smart that there is something deeply happening inside of her where she is like, I'm going to put it on camera. She has said to us this season already, if you do it again, I will leave you. I want a post-nup. Michael knows this is it. He can't bring up that they've had, threesomes or whatever, because she already said it. It's not I didn't know that I couldn't sleep with other women when you weren't there, because she has said it. And she said no more. So I think she's playing the long game. And I'm just like, Ashley, again, blink 3 times in one scene or at the reunion if you need help moving boxes. I
have you. So you think we can kind of keep an eye on Ashley's interstate by her edges?
I do, because she did. Yes, she gave us that post-nup information. And she walked into the winery with the most perfect edges I've ever seen and told everyone without asking. So what do y'all want to know about my marriage? I'm here to explain. Here we go.
Okay, I like this theory.
Yeah. And we thought that was going to be the story for the episode. And little did we know.
Okay. I really like how Bravo. So they've done this before where they'll echo another scene in sound effects, but I really like the work they're doing with the fight where they're bringing it in like a bad dream into like, they'll just play like, it's like, like someone will like stare off and then you just hear a flash of it. And like when Candiace was washing her table in her robe and was just like thinking off, and it was like, yeah, give me your hair. Like, I really I like the echo effects. I like what they're doing there.
Beautiful work. Beautiful cinematography.
Potomac editors, geniuses.
Genius.
Now, this is interesting to say because I know I've always sort of been on Candiace as someone I haven't liked as much. But I felt for her this week in the way that it sort of broke her heart when she found out that Monique didn't have any regrets. You know what I mean? Like when she found out about the conversation, and I did see her heart break when she said that Monique said she had no apologies. She sort of doubled down on it. And I felt that was a genuine, like, oh my God, like this was supposed to be my friend. What's happened, and that was fucking terrible. But for her to have, like, I think she felt truly hurt by that personally. And that my heart broke for her. I don't know how anybody else feels.
I do not feel the same.
Really?
I'm team Monique.
What do you think, Moni?
A choice. I am team. At this point, I'm team the table. I'm here for the table that was in the middle, that didn't ask for it, that was upset by the velocity, that had wine spilled all over it. I am in the middle, literally. I think that both are wrong and both are right in this situation. Yes. It's weird because I can't be fully team. I'm not fully team Candiace because I'm just like, girl, you also need to learn how to fight a little bit. A little bit. Not saying that it's right.
No one's saying any of this is right.
No, we're all on the page that this is not a good fight.
It's wrong. For the way, I think the fight didn't need to happen. I think it was a little, like, the punishment didn't fit the crime. I think that it was a little, like, the anticlimactic for why we were there. I think Monique snapped. I think it had maybe 10% to do with Candiace. So that's why I'm not fully against Team Monique. But the way she was flipping that girl's hair, I would have reacted like Monique if someone flipped my hair like she did Candiace's, because I'm like, don't you touch my hair. But that's also why I'm like, you kind of went first. That's physical first. I don't agree that verbal assault is the same as physical assault. Like, when Monique was using that, I was very stressed. And I also kind of just wish a little bit that she would have just told us what she really felt. And that was, I just snapped and I beat her ass. And that's just what happened. Like, I wish she would have just said that instead of coming into Karen's home, crying and kissing babies and being like, I'm so ashamed. But then to go, oh, I don't regret it though. And I'm like, so then what are you ashamed by? I'm very confused. But I did believe her when she was with her pastor. I thought the pastor did a very good job getting into her. I thought that I believed her when she said that she wanted to reach out and make something happen. I do think it was too little too late. And I also didn't believe Candiace when she was in her therapy session. I thought the therapist did a great job. Like, hey, do you have any responsibility in at least the deterioration of this relationship? And she was like, no, I am clearly just a victim. I showed up and she beat my ass and I don't understand why. And I am like, oh, Candiace, honey, other things happened before then. So I'm clearly team no one, and both need to be in therapy of some sort, like very quickly, and do some intense work. I'm sad that Candiace didn't get the regret that she was looking for, because Monique, we saw Monique have it when she was talking to the pastor, but we saw Candiace not get it. And I think that's where the lines got missed. And I think that when she presses the charges against Monique, it's going to bring a new rage out of Monique where she loses it again. And now currently she's doubling down all over again. So I think that it's missed.
We have two women here who have so much anger. Candiace at her mother.
Oh.
And that whole relationship, which is really not a great one. And so she has all this anger and she's directing it, instead of at her mother, at the women around her. And then Monique, who all I can see is I think there's some stuff with her husband and the amount of responsibility she has, and 3 little kids and a bird and the mother-in-law situation. I think she feels overwhelmed and angry. And those are the issues she needs to be dealing with. But instead, they're just yelling and screaming at each other. But if they could just see what their real problems are, where their real anger lays, then maybe we can get somewhere. But we can't do that. And so,
did you find it ironic at all that Candiace's mother, Miss Dorothy, was instructing her, leading her, encouraging her to press charges for an assault of a woman that took place with her daughter, yet this is the woman who hit her own daughter with a purse in the head?
I couldn't believe it. She was like,
that was rich.
I don't like this. I don't like someone feeling like they can lay hands. It's like, oh my God.
Besides me.
Yes. Maybe we lay handbags, we lay purses.
Yes, handbags. Yes.
I'm very shocked. I was like, oh, that's
Can
rich.
I just quickly say why I'm Team Monique? I hear everything everyone's saying. Of course. Was it great what happened?
And I'm not saying I'm Team Candiace. Let me just say.
I'm not Team Candiace. I think the cookie displays are very extravagant.
Here we go. Walking it back, ladies. You're walking it back.
Walking it back. Tiptoeing.
Okay. Obviously, it's not great what happened, but I will say I empathize with Monique. I have gotten into a physical altercation. I've been in the situation where someone provokes you And you then react in a way that makes you the bad person. And so then all the focus goes on you. And yes, you react badly. And maybe I'm just as bad as Monique, but I feel like if Candiace was doing that to me, antagonizing, I would have a similar reaction, unfortunately. And yes, I do need anger management, sure. But I feel like 98% of the time I'm a very nice person. And I do think Monique is too. And I think Monique's reaction to be regretful, she was still in the adrenaline headspace of like, she started this. But when Monique sat down with the pastor, and I want to make an alert about the pastor, hot pastor alert. I thought I was very into the pastor, but I feel like we did see Monique. She not only dropped down into what happened, she was like, I owe her an apology. Like she came there. And I just felt a bit like, yeah, she made a mistake. I don't know. I just felt like Candiace is so fucking annoying.
But why didn't she get there the next day? Is my question, because yes, I understand, because when they had that meeting at Karen's house.
Because in her head, she felt very strongly that Candiace started it wanting a fight. So that's where she was coming from. And I don't think she fully wrapped her head around, wow, what have I done here? And it sunk in. Great. Again, not great that she didn't take responsibility right away, but I do feel like it was all wrong. I know the tweets were wrong. It was all wrong. But I believed her when she really realized like she'd been bullied as a kid. This probably wasn't at all about Candiace. It doesn't make it right, but I felt for her. That's all I'm going to say.
Can I say I am not team, the reason I'm not team Monique is because of the reaction, not because of what happened. I'm fine, to be honest, and this is going to be a hot take, I'm fine with what happened. I think it's absolutely a load of shit that they put her through such a harsh talking to and reprimanded her like a freaking child because she got angry and because like the responsibility of being a classy Black woman doesn't belong to Monique. Like that's ridiculous to put all of that pressure on her, which is largely why I think she already snapped with Candiace to begin with, is because of the pressure. As a Black woman, I would be beside myself if I thought that on my podcast alone, the few people that listen to it, people were expecting me to be the holy grail of how Black women act or are supposed to respond to things. We are very complex and very different. And it's very ridiculous to think that she needed to have all of that pressure put on her and the responsibility of keeping the show a certain way and of holding the integrity. Who the fuck is watching Housewives to watch classy, elegant women of any kind? Nobody.
You're not going to find him here. You're not going to find
him in OC. You're not going to find it flipping tables in Jersey. You're not going to find it any other one. Like, that's not it.
Not in Beverly Hills. They're all trash.
No, you're not going to find it anywhere.
So if you're not gonna do the same thing to them, and I didn't see anyone sitting down with, Teresa at the flipping a table. It's not for nothing. Bravo has profited so much off this fight. They have made people have been excited about this for months. They've been tuning in. So to then put it on her that she has to be the martyr, that either she's gonna get fired or she has so much to lose. I'm like, for me, my only thing was, Monique, you have kids and you have more to lose in this situation than Candiace. Candiace needs this job. You will be fine. So I need you to just hold it together. My only thing was I agree with Karen to an extent when she told Monique, this is what we do though. We're all going to pull each other to that final brink. And you can't be in this space if you can't handle it.
100%.
They call everybody everything. But that's not because she's a Black woman. That's just because you're human.
Yes.
We get mad.
That's what I felt.
And as we said on the last podcast in New Jersey, we saw Margaret and Danielle go at it in a hair pull.
Dog walked her.
Exactly.
Pulled that weave and walked it home.
Again, I just want to cite also the Portia Kenya fight because Kenya sat there with that fan antagonizing.
Now, you might have gotten something from me. I can't lie.
You want to put someone with a fucking fan in front of me? You won't even want to know what I would do. I
can't lie. I just think that it's rich.
She pushed Portia to the brink.
That we use the whole, like, the Black woman stereotype. If people are going to jump to that automatically, they were going to do it regardless. I have been called the angry Black woman in my very few amount of decades on this earth so many times, more than how many years I am. I've been called it so many times and I have not hit a person. So people are going to do it regardless. They're going to not watch and say for people to say they're disappointed in how they're acting. Like, where did you get the fact that Housewives was the overarching example of how to be a human or a woman or how to handle conflict? That's not true.
It's a lesson on not to. It's a lesson. Take the lessons and do the opposite of them. Everybody knows that. Why else are we watching this?
I just don't want Monique to waste the money in attorney fees. That's why I didn't want her to fight.
Well, and that's why at the end of the day, when Candiace, did you see that light bulb go off for Candiace when she was like, a lawsuit? And I'm just like, this is going to it's too much.
Karen shocked me. Did she shock you guys when she told Ashley and Giselle, which, wow, Giselle, okay, that was a wild card attendee. And she told them that she had told Candiace, I would have pressed charges too. And I'm like, huh?
That was Karen in the middle, serving croissants in the middle of the whole thing. I don't know.
Serving,
of course,
pan quotidienne, if I remember correctly.
Do I want to watch this play out and go to trial? Yes. But
do I want to serve as a jurist? Of course.
On which one? Because they counter-filed against each other.
Well, I want to be, of course, the lead attorney on the pinching butts trial. That goes without saying.
I want to be the judge on the pinching butts trial. We will see. I love the show, but I do feel like Candiace plays a very large role in this. That's all I will say.
Yeah, I can see that. And I'm curious to see if we have the same conversation at the reunion with Chris and Michael, who apparently go to blows with each other as two white men on the cast. Are we going to have the same conversation with them? Are we going to sit them down and give them a talking to about what it means to not upset the stereotype? Oh, I forgot there isn't one that exists. Oh, I guess not then.
No, they don't even say, they haven't said it, but after or before, it just won't happen.
Moni, it has been a delight to have you. I feel like we got a lot. So much we need to have you back. I feel like we scratched the surface here today. This was like we dipped a toe into the waters, into the great Potomac waters and the waters of housewives. And so we need to have you back especially when we start getting in our Salt Lakes and
anytime. Of course, I'm so excited. For that.
I'm really excited for Salt Lake.
I need new people.
Me too. And what we are getting from Salt Lake, we've got some real stories.
I want that Salt Lake to just that water to wash right over me. I don't know what that means. Moni, you're wonderful. Will you tell everyone where we can find you and follow you and listen to you?
Of course. You can listen to me anywhere you listen to podcasts like this one by searching Mixing with Moni. And you can also find me on Instagram. That is where the infamous stories and memes do lie. Twitter, not so much because they are scary people, but I'm there as well.
I can't get on Twitter.
But we're really making great things happen over on Instagram. I do lesson plans. I do memes. I make very hot takes.
I've never seen someone combine housewife memes and children's lesson plans, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, because you know what? I've noticed that a large amount of my followers are middle-aged white women with children. So I decided to just appeal to the audience.
Look who I am.
I'm very happy for that. So yeah, you can join that train.
I'm a follower. I'm a middle-aged woman with a child, and I'm following you. You are.
When you said middle-aged, I was like, I don't identify with that demographic.
But also when you were doing a really serious, we were talking about something serious a little earlier, and you said, I haven't been alive that long in this earth, and I was like, there she goes again.
There she goes.
so I mean, you would almost never know. I mean,
yes, we know.
I hope that includes, that stays around forever because youth is something to hold on to. Maybe I'll move to OC and just hold on to it a little bit longer. But you can follow me on Instagram by searching Mixing with Moni at MIXINGWITHMANI.
Thank you,
You're
Moni.
so funny and such a delight. And thank you so much for
so much
on.
for having me. I had such a grand time.
Danielle, we have a very special segment coming up. An important
I'm excited about this. Yes, because I have questions and I think they're going to have answers. And
we're going to delve into a different area. Now, look, do you and I regularly slam the makeup and the kind of look of housewives and their brands? We do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we brought in professionals to do that and to just really tell us where everyone's at. And I do mean professionals, Danielle. I want to read a little bio, if I may. This is very fun. We have Nick Axelrod and Annie Kreighbaum. They are here. Okay. Annie is a beauty journalist. She's turned exec. She's the co-host along with Nick of the beauty news podcast, Eyewitness Beauty. And this is very exciting, a former brand lead for Glossier. Maybe you've heard of it, Danielle.
Ooh, I like my Glossier.
Yep. And Nick is a former reporter for Elle magazine. Maybe you've heard of that.
Little publication.
And Women's Wear Daily, which I feel like I hear about, but I don't know what it is, but I feel it's very important.
It's that's high-end fashion. That's people who know things. Not just us amateurs who dabble in Vogue. It's
who's like wearing a jumpsuit my friend gave me. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, Nick is also co-founder of the personal care brand Necessaire. And I will say he sent me a gift basket that I was like, who cares about me enough to send this amount of product, this amount of luxury product for the bath? Okay, I'm going to get him to talk about that. And that's not just why we're having him on, but he very nicely sent me that. It was body washes, lotions, and he even sent me lube, Danielle.
Lube?
Yeah, you didn't receive one.
No,
you didn't
receive
one.
I only had Candy Burris's lube, which, as you remember, was wonderful.
Stung. And also he co-founded the beauty website Into the Gloss, and Eyewitness Beauty is their podcast. It's beauty and pop culture podcast available wherever you get your podcast. Please welcome Annie and Nick. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us.
I mean, we're branching out into new territories, and it feels good to just get your takes.
I mean, I love the housewives, and so I needed to figure out my way in to talking to you guys about the housewives, and it was beauty. It was their beauty.
Their beauty, of which they are, most of them, so very beautiful. All of them, actually.
And some of them, it's more of a mask they put on as opposed to what they really look like. Some of them, I don't believe I would know what they look like without their makeup on. If I saw like Elisa Rinna on the street, I wonder if I would recognize her. I don't
think she goes anywhere without makeup.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably
I mean,
true.
have you seen, speaking of which, Kim Zolciak-Biermann without makeup now? 2020
No.
Kim?
I don't think so.
Unrecognized. You would never wouldn't recognize her.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I just saw her on TV. I didn't see her in person, but.
Well, I
Without her makeup?
Without her makeup. And Annie, welcome to you as well.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Guys, before we start, I did want to ask your opinion on my lipstick. Now, what I want to say to you both, let me give you a little look. Do you like it? Yes or no?
It's like a faded red. I can't tell if the color on my screen is accurately depicting it.
Well, let me say something. It's not lipstick. It's the Zoom filter lipstick. There's a new upgrade on Zoom. You can go into like visual effects and you can change your lip color. And I just wear this now on Zooms, and you can go get any color you want. And I feel like, I hope they don't give Glossier a run for their money is my hope. But you can change your lip color to literally anything that follows you. Look.
But then show them up close next to the mic.
Oh, does it like disappear?
But when am I using a
It goes
mic?
into the mic.
I get compliments on all these new fun lips that I'm doing, but I'm not even, and what do you think about this new trend that I've started?
Of the filter makeup?
Yeah. Are you upset?
No, not. I love an Instagram filter, but I like the ones where you can tell it's a filter, like with the butterflies and the sparkles and whatever. I don't like the subtle ones.
Yeah. See, I like the subtle ones because I don't want people to know that I didn't even take 2 seconds to put on lipstick. I'm using it as like a genuine time saver.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
My husband and I are doing surrogacy, and egg donor agencies have not yet figured out Instagram filters. So all the pictures from I'd say 85% of the egg donors on these websites are all filtered Snapchat pictures with the birds flying around their heads and stuff. And it's you can't really tell what these people look like, and they're going to be the genetic parent of your child.
You're I love those Mickey Mouse ears, but
yeah.
I don't know if I want my child to have Bambi eyes, and so
Bambi eyes,
really beautiful eyes. Yeah.
Very beautiful. That is so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, hit us with your hot takes on beauty. And you also said you've got some thoughts about missed opportunities for brands for some of these women and the brands you like and don't like. Just let us have it.
Yeah. So on our show, we always say that the beauty industry is a reflection of culture at large. And what we found in all of our research on these housewife beauty brands is that they truly do reflect the culture of the housewives universe. And
our thesis was correct.
Our thesis was correct.
In what way? In what specific way do you believe?
Well, we have a few thoughts. So we weren't super impressed overall, unfortunately.
What?
No.
What?
I know.
I dare you to tell me how.
There's not a where skinny girl margarita mix was to alcohol. There is no beauty equivalent.
Not even Gretchen Chritine Beaute?
R.I.P.
Oh.
You will not even, you'll get a 404 error if you try to plug in that website.
I feel like you get that if you just look for Gretchen too. Just 404.
Seriously.
Yeah. So a big theme that we're seeing is they clearly saw the success of the Kylie lip kits. So we're seeing a theme of lip kits happening. We have Cab Beauty. We all know that that's Kim Zolciak and her 2 daughters. They started with lip kits. They actually are the only brand that have reviews on Makeup Alley, which is, I think, the most like trusted, like true reviewed beauty website.
And are they good? Are they good reviews?
They're fine.
Are they from Croy? Did Croy just
They're probably from Croy and all of their children. Yes. So there's like 76 reviews and they're like 4.5
And
stars.
we kind of like, we wanted to sort of take a look at the shade names and see, and then we compiled all the shade names and we were like, maybe this is actually a fun test to see how well you guys actually know the housewives, because if we read you the shade names, you're gonna have to tell us which housewife created these products.
Okay.
Got it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Send nudes, twerk, daddy, wifey, NDA, private jet, and prenup.
These are all Erica's?
Nope.
They're all one
Wait,
person.
wait.
Yes, these are all one person, any Bravo celebrity.
NDA.
Oh, Lala?
Bingo.
Oh.
Give them
You got
Lala.
Give them
Wow,
Lala, which
congrats.
also has a lip kit.
Send nudes is clever.
Well, Send Nudes is also on another housewife beauty
Oh,
collection.
so not that
No.
Not the most
Yes.
original.
Okay, ready? Love Inside.
Weird.
You Need Me. Your Highness. Arousal. Illicit. And Caress.
They're terrible names. Love Inside. What does that even mean? Is that like a quarantine lip?
I think that's a Kim Zolciak.
Mm-mm.
I keep guessing Kim Zolciak.
Love Inside. Think naughty.
Fleshy.
Nini?
Kenya?
Nope. Candy Coated.
Candy?
Yeah, she has her sex products, and then now she has Love Inside.
Oh.
And you mentioned the lube earlier, and Nick found out
That is Candy.
You can also use the lube as a makeup remover.
double duty.
It is double duty.
I do genuinely need a makeup remover, and
I'm going to say you don't try the lube.
yeah, because to put that on your skin.
Yeah.
But if you make up your vagina or penis, then that is your. If you happen to put lipstick on your vagina,
Right.
it's a kit for you. The lube for you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
And this one, I feel like this is probably easy, but who am I to say? Birthday Suit, Legends Only, and No Apologies.
Erica Jane.
Why are
Close.
we terrible at this?
Lisa Rinna.
Yes.
Lisa Rinna has lip kits?
Oh
I
my
saw
God.
that it
She's
came out.
launching
Coming
them later
soon.
this month. Yeah.
Coming
Mhm.
soon. Do you think they're
But
going to
we
do
already
She
well?
didn't have one called Own It. I can't believe there's not one called Own It.
Yeah.
It's probably her
that's-
holiday
that's-
launch.
Yeah.
That's leaving money on the table. I'm sorry. She needs to have one called Own It.
We'll file that under missed opportunity.
She also
Okay.
was doing a lip kit when, like, I feel like, yes, her lips are notorious, but is notorious the way you want to introduce a, like a notoriously fake, like,
Well,
appendage.
Kylie did the same thing though, to huge success.
True.
She was getting a lot of hate for her cosmetic procedures, and then she turned it into a positive. I respect that.
And what do you
That's
guys think
true.
about Kylie's products?
Wow.
Hello?
That was a long pause. Long pause.
That I will say that on Eyewitness Beauty we like to edit by omission. So that long pause was a comment.
We like to edit by what is it? What's the opposite of admission? Yeah.
We edit by admission. Okay.
I mean, it's like it's all crap. Right?
Really? Can I just ask you guys, just because I'm curious, if you had to pick one beauty brand of like makeup, what would you be your favorite? And I know everyone tries to be like, but one of them has a better lip liner and this one has a better mascara, but could you just give us one?
Truly, I mean, it's Chanel. It's great packaging, great formulas. They're constantly innovating.
Who has the best housewife beauty brand or Bravo beauty brand?
Well, we can get into the winners.
Okay,
Yes,
let's
please.
hear.
So our winners, speaking of makeup, well, actually, there were actually no makeup winners. We actually started with losers. And we started with losers because, for obvious reasons, Ramona, Ageless by Ramona. Can we just take a moment?
Yeah.
So
A moment of
First of
silence
all,
for the death of
a
our
moment
skin.
of silence for Ageless by Ramona. It is one product.
which we appreciate because we think that a celebrity should focus on one thing instead of doing like a line of 80 products. Just that seems like a cash grab.
She just does one, and it is a serum.
Okay.
And the star ingredient is hyaluronic acid, which is the second to last ingredient on the ingredient list. And if you know anything about ingredient lists, that means that it's the least prevalent in the formula.
Okay.
And she also says it's organic, and there's
she also
pegs
says there's
in it,
vitamin C in it. There's no vitamin C.
And we didn't even find vitamin C in it. So basically, like, she just wrote this ingredient list by herself, put this on the internet, and she has a Clearwater, Florida dermatologist like hawking it in some weird infomercial that she created.
As a Floridian, I can tell you, you don't want your dermatologist in Clearwater. That is the Scientology headquarters, I believe. That's
Don't
where
think
I
didn't Google the name of the dermatologist and Scientology to see if there was any connection.
Yeah, careful.
Is he doing David Miscavige?
Exactly. Shelley, more importantly.
Maybe that's what Shelley's doing. She's
Seriously.
running a clinic for...
And the other loser we had was Candy. And the reason why, because she is so successful in business and in life, as we know, but it's an MLM scheme. So it's a she has these candy coded consultants who then can have parties where they can become consultants and so on and so on and so on. And we just don't like the smell or the look of that.
Neither does the Better Business
Feeling very
Bureau.
Keith Raniere.
It's feeling very Keith Raniere.
Not that some of us on this Zoom have not entered into multi-level marketing schemes.
Oh?
I won't say who.
Me?
Which have you been in?
What was I in? Like a shake one?
You had a shake one. You started to sell shakes for a minute. You were on a TV show and you were selling shakes.
That's amazing.
I was pressured into it though, Keith Raniere style. Like suddenly, like my friend just like dropped off a bunch of boxes and was like, "See if you can move this product." I never even tried one.
But you were like, "Guys, I think these are really good shakes."
Speaking of Keith Raniere, we're getting strong Nexium vibes.
He has a new product.
He has a new line of hair care
branding.
Okay, all in with Teddy.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys been following the controversy?
Oh yes, we have.
It's strong Nexium vibes, calorie deprivation. Have you seen the butter lettuce tacos that they make?
No,
it's basically toppings as a taco. It's like
so it's like imagine like a mint leaf, lettuce, a orange segment, a piece of avocado in a lettuce wrap, and that's your meal.
Dinner. That's dinner. That's a taco.
Wow. So it's similar to Keith, except no one wants to have sex.
Basically.
With her. Wow.
So who else is on your list?
On our naughty list.
On your naughty list.
Kristen Takeman. Remember her?
Oh, Papa Color, of course.
Papa Color.
Also known as...
This is the problem. Hashtag POC Beauty.
That is their Instagram handle.
So that's going to be problematic.
That's problematic.
Yeah. Okay. And she hasn't posted since 2017.
I didn't think... I'd like to know, and maybe you guys can do some research down the line. You know, is it still in Ricky's? Because I remember it was their
sole distributor.
Ricky's is no more.
Yeah. Ricky's is...
So I guess no.
The answer would be no, it's no more.
We got to the bottom of that.
No. There we did it. Not to laugh at Ricky's demise. I loved Ricky's. I'm just saying
I loved Ricky's. Ricky's to me is New York. Okay.
Every kind of bobby pin.
Yes. Okay, and who are some winners?
I have one more good loser, which is Deandra Simmons, Hard Night, Good Morning.
Oh, yes.
And
of course. Okay. That's what I should be for Halloween. Hard Night, Good Morning.
Oh my God, you should. Sorry, it's a loser. Did I say that? It was a loser.
Yes, I think it was clear.
You did say
I also think it's clear.
That was clear.
They have a blog. They have a blog on their website, and a lot of these beauty brands run by housewives have a blog. However, none of them have as offensive of a blog as the Deandra Simmons blog on Hard Night, Good Morning. There is a blog post entitled "What We Have in Common with the Ladies of the Himba Tribe." Hair extensions. And she talks about a recent trip that she took this past summer with, guess who, her husband, in Africa. And it's all documented in her husband's photography. I was given the chore of helping to remove old hair extensions and braids on a lazy afternoon in the very hot Namibian sun. After getting a crash course in Himba hair braiding, I know all about what it means to, quote, work your fingers to the bone, ! As fun as this experience was, I'm incredibly thankful that I get to sit in an air-conditioned salon with my copy of Us Weekly and People and check my emails instead of taking turns at doing hair maintenance in the hot sun in a remote African village.
A Dallas girl. Like me.
Andy's a Dallas girl. She can say it.
Just like you, Annie.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that
is shocking.
Yeah. I just
that is the most.
I mean, it is tone deaf. I mean, but not even
beyond tone deaf.
It's
the Us Weekly.
And it's also not. It's also like, take a look at yourself and look at your privilege and see how this is not.
Your mother gave you this company, bitch.
And she fumbled that.
Awful.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's just
that's pretty bad.
The experience was for her, like how selfishly to go into this village and use it for her blogging. You know what I mean? It's just gross.
So bad.
No, thank you.
She's disgusting.
In better news, I called Cut Fitness and they are still and someone picked up and they're still in business.
I bet you called Tamara's house. No, you called Tamara's house.
It probably goes directly
Eddie's
to
cell
Tamara's
phone.
house.
It goes right there.
Yeah, were they like Foot Locker? Hello?
No, Spirit Halloween store.
No, but the great thing that I figured out, this is actually like a cool free thing that all of our everyone listening can get on, which is on their website, on the Cut Fitness website, anyone can book a free 15-minute consultation with Eddie for a fitness like diagnostic test.
Wow. Okay.
And he has his entire schedule open.
What do you have time to do in 15 minutes? I feel like he's just like, you're fat.
Probably. But I just like anyone can do it.
I like Eddie. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Anyone who wants to meet a celebrity, quote unquote.
He is very
cool. Okay.
Take your way down to Cut Fitness.
All right.
I'm glad to hear it's open. I wonder, all these gyms have taken like such a huge hit in the pandemic. I feel like his business just stayed.
I feel like in Orange County, people are like, I can go to the gym. No big deal. Like,
but I just mean the amount of people that I think were in it before and of course after the quarantine.
1 to 2 in that huge vacuous space is probably,
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think anyone's going because he has an entirely full, an entirely free schedule from 7 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. on Friday tomorrow.
That's today.
So get on it.
If you're listening today.
And then we had one more interesting fact, which is, remember Cindy Barshop?
Of course. The waxer.
I mean, I know. Well, she's abandoned waxing.
Oh.
She now has a company. She pivoted, so to speak. She now has a company called V-Spot MediSpa. And she's doubled down on vaginas.
Oh.
She's offering a service called vaginal plumping.
Oh, God.
Ew! I don't want a fat vagina.
Well, I think I told you my daughter said I had a fat vagina, so I don't need her services. Thank you.
You don't need
her. You could be the after
and Sonia said she had a fat
pussy?
She had a fat pussy?
Yeah.
I believe she said she had a fat pussy.
And so Cindy can do a vaginal plumping. She has an O shot, which is short for orgasm. And you get PRP, which is platelet rich plasma. So they basically take your blood, they spin it in a centrifuge and separate out the plasma, and they inject it into your vaginal tissue.
I've had it done in my face, but I didn't know you could travel that needle right on down.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to give you better orgasms.
Interesting.
Something like that. And then she also has something called Kegel Throne.
Oh.
Which is essentially a chair that uses high intensity focused electromagnetic technology to cause deep pelvic floor muscles to stimulate and restore the neuromuscular control over your pelvic floor.
Now, a lot of women do suffer from that after childbirth, so I'm going to give that one a pass.
You mean like not passing on it, but passing it forward?
No, I like that. I mean, maybe that will help some women. I'll give her that.
Sure.
And then what about a chemical-free vaginal and butt bleaching?
Come again?
That one's harder.
Nothing's chemical-free.
No. So you bleach your butt hair?
No.
No.
So I've actually thought a lot about this as a gay man. No. It's actually, how some people have like either darker colored skin or like red skin around their where and where.
Anuses and
okay.
And
I
vagina.
guess. Yeah.
I'll cop to it. I think I have a darker asshole than I do ass.
Say that makes you feel uncomfortable. Then get thee to V-Spot MediSpa. You can basically get it bleached to be like a lighter color.
Lower the lights, Danielle.
I didn't have the insecurity until you mentioned it. Now I do.
That's how the beauty industry works.
That is how it works.
See, we just did it.
Can I ask you guys a beauty question? I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Of course.
Shoot.
Do you traffic at all into like cosmetic procedures and stuff?
100%.
What do we make? Because my dermatologist told me that I have heavy lids, which hurt, and I'm getting the like plasma pen done on my eyelids.
The plasma pen?
Oh boy, you haven't even heard of it?
I haven't heard of that. And I've heard of a lot of things.
Wow. Well, maybe your doctor's on the cutting edge, or our doctor's on the cutting edge.
Don't get the threads though. If they ever try to get you to get threads, which are like the hyaluronic acid threads that have little barbs in them, and they put them in under your skin and then pull back, and then like all of your skin comes back. It's like how you got to get like a cat eye look. Don't do that.
It's like they're tufting your face like upholstery.
It came from Russia.
Oh my God.
Okay. What facial things? Because I'm getting it all. I'm throwing everything. I wish I would take the care, as I've said many times, with neck below that I do with my face. But I'm getting your lasers, your fractals, your limelights, your fucking, what's the one I got, Danielle? The Ulthera.
The Ultrathera.
Oh, you got Ulthera?
Oh,
yeah.
Ulthera is painful. I got it.
With the injections?
No. Ulthera is the one with Christy Brinkley as like the spokesperson, and it's like deep fascia.
It's like a hot fire poker. Oof, it hurt.
That was painful.
That was, I don't know if I've seen results.
I think, what about Morpheus 8? It is, she's taking notes. It's like 18, I want to say 18 needles that they shoot like electromagnetic frequency through. And so they are both poking your skin with it and then shooting it with the electromagnetic frequency. And you have to get like 3 sessions every 3 months.
Nick had a rash for like 2 weeks after.
Yes, true.
No.
So you don't have one day when you're good.
No. And that's the point. No, but then it actually like it tightens, it lifts, it like does wonders for texture. I actually really think that one works.
Morpheus 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it could use a rebranding on the name, but okay.
And then Botox.
I mean, straight up.
So my question is, of all the housewives that are doing sort of the procedures, who do you think is doing the best in terms of like who's looking the best in terms of all the work they've had and the makeup, and who is really giving us the best, looks right now?
That is a great question. I mean, before we got on this call, Annie and I were talking, and we were saying that in terms of money on the table, Luann looks incredible. She doesn't look like she's had work done. Yeah. And like, seriously.
She's aging backwards.
And we were saying she needs a like Italian inspired skincare line, right?
Very nice. Yeah. But with none of the fucking shit that the comedy she tries to infuse with all of her other brands. Like just something truly classic. No. And I don't want to hear Countess in it. I don't want to hear any of that.
And I want it to be simplicity, because she has sort of like, she never dresses up in anything that isn't just like a little, more simple. She's always got basics on, but sort of, except for she always has a statement piece.
Of course, her statement necklace, but
I think just weirdly, these people don't have the right people around them or in their orbit to like create these brands in a way that's not like Sonia Morgan for Century 21.
Yeah. Is that because they can't afford the right people who have that kind of ability?
No, I just think that they're getting opportunities thrown at them left and right, and they have like no filter to figure out who's legit and who isn't. Like we were looking, Denise has
a skincare line
called CB Me. It's a play on CBD. Get it?
CB Me.
Okay. No, I did not. I thought it was like about Crate and Barrel.
If only.
Like CB2.
She seems like a Crate and Barrel girl.
I love Crate.
Yeah, me too. Classic. But the company that does her formulations, the other brands that they work on are like a CBD company for pets, pet supplements.
So they make pet supplements and then Denise Richards skincare.
I see.
Okay. Okay. Who else do you like? Like, who do you think, I was going to say, what do you think about Erica Jane? I feel like her body lately looks so amazing.
She looks pretty wonderful. I think it's probably the people who've done less, not that have done better, because I think it's literally just genetics and people who've done less, because Erica doesn't seem like she's had much work done. Dorit doesn't seem like she's had a ton of work done.
Annie disagrees.
I thought like the whole thing about Dorit is that her people, don't they say on the show, again, like, this is not my personal opinion. I think everybody's great. Not trying to put any negativity into the world, but
that was weak, Annie. That was weak.
That's a lot of
caveats.
Look, anybody that knows me knows that I'm just like always here to spread good energy.
Our iTunes reviews would speak to the contrary, but anyway, continue.
Okay. So you think Annie, because people say she's done her lips and all that stuff, right?
Well, they make fun of her on the show for like having a completely new head. They've said that like a few times.
That is true.
But guess what? The new head's working. The new head is
I like
working.
the new head.
I don't really know the old head.
But I feel like lips lips are table stakes. What really is where really people go wrong is cheeks. And when they start to like blow up like a, like Madonna style, like where you just can get like bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because I think essentially the idea is to like get rid of the wrinkles. You kind of expand the skin and then you just end up being like a balloon.
And what do I do? And I'm going to quote a term here because I'm a doctor. What do you do about the lines in your nasolabial folds? Is that drinking?
Ooh.
So disclaimer, my husband is he does aesthetic dermatology. So I have actually asked him about this. And the answer is don't go to someone who's going to put the filler in the nasolabial folds, because that's actually not the way to do it. The way is to put it above so that it kind of pulls the skin out and like brings the fold up.
Seeing your husband. Thank you.
Where's he located?
In Brentwood. It's down the street.
You want to give a plug? You're welcome to.
Okay. We're actually not allowed. They asked us not to.
They're like, we don't want to associate ourselves with you.
We understand. I don't want to be associated with us.
I don't either.
Okay.
We also have missed opportunities. Like we just people who like, there's money, as you said, there's money on the table and they're just not taking it. Erica Jane could be a beauty YouTube phenomenon.
Wow.
Like the fact that she doesn't have a line, she doesn't have a lip kit is insane to me. And what's weird about Erica Jane, she doesn't have anything.
She has a Shoe Dazzle collab, but no beauty.
And that's it.
She has a book, career, but that's it.
And she has her song and dance.
But that's it.
You're right. She is an international pop star.
Yeah, so, we can't all do everything.
Okay.
Maybe Corona, we'll see her sort of have to turn to other revenue streams during this trying time where there's no performances.
We all do.
We also said lashes. Like all
Atlanta.
these women are
wonderful.
wearing, like row on
I'd
row
love to see Portia with a lash line.
Yes.
She has her hairline, but
she has a hairline. She has a sheet line, like comforters and sheets, and she also has that stuff called the dump, which is like what is that? Like a drink that I guess makes you shit.
Yeah. Stop. It's called the dump.
Yes, guys, the dump. It's like a
you cannot make this
cleanse.
Shit up.
It's a cleanse. It's called the dump. I don't
you
know
have to respect it in a way.
Yeah,
it's just
I love it. I remember it. Half people's products, I have no idea what their fucking products are named. I couldn't name one of Dorit's, but the dump, I'll never forget. Brand recognition is everything.
Can I ask you guys what you think about Goop Beauty?
We kind of had fun with Gwyneth Paltrow last week because she is the new face of a new Botox alternative. Which is a toxin, and Goop is notoriously
non-toxic,
not quote unquote non-toxic. So
I feel like though Botox is where everyone's just like, let's fucking be honest, we're doing this. Like we can do it everywhere else, but enough is enough.
I'll drink oat milk and then I'll put Botox in me.
Wouldn't you love to see one of the housewives be like embrace the toxicity, like Rinna be like, it's all about toxins, baby. Like, and be the new face of Botox.
I think she would in a second. She would in a second. I think she would say yes to anything and everything, as she's told us.
Depends.
Because
the brand, that wasn't me saying it depends.
Both. I like the Goop Jeans moisturizer.
That's the line that just came out. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I think it's actually amazing.
Their 3-minute instant facials really good too.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really
People love their scalp scrub too.
Okay.
That's
guys,
a winner.
We're getting all of these.
Yeah. And what do you make of Poosh? What do you make of Poosh?
I have a theory about Poosh. I think it's a marketing company because it's basically, she puts together these big influencer gift packages. And I think what's happening is, like, remember when they used to do award shows and they would have like the swag centers where the celebrities could go in and shop for free. That's like, she's basically doing the like packaged version of that. I think brands are paying her to put together like her monthly Poosh box, and then she's giving it to all of her influencer friends, and it's a ton of like, impressions that they're getting through all these like famous people's channels.
Wow.
That's my
I would have
theory on
said
Poosh.
that Poosh was like silly and didn't matter, except the brand that I co-founded, Necessaire, was on Poosh once, like the sex shell, which is our lube. And plug necessaire.com.
Here we go. And this is what happens. Someone is given a gag order from that box.
And no, we were not in the box.
Poosh is working its magic.
Completely organic. And we actually did get a shitload of traffic from like the placement on Poosh, which makes me think that people actually are looking at Poosh.
Your packaging is gorgeous.
Thank you.
It is. It's not like too feminine or masculine. Like I can't describe. It's like very beautiful for anyone to use. Not that your packaging needs to go with your gender at all. It just feels very like strong and beautiful to me.
Again, I did not see it. I don't have it. And I didn't see it.
You're getting it. I promise.
Wow.
I actually DM'd you. I DM'd you and you left me on red.
What does red mean?
It's like you looked at it, you saw it, and you didn't respond.
And you said no.
I don't even, guys, I don't know how to work Instagram. I've told people this a million times. I don't even know what red is.
She doesn't know.
And then we have one final missed opportunity.
Please. Okay.
4 words. Sonia Morgan water pills.
Oh, wow. Of course. I'd take those in a second. Of
course, because we already know Dorinda's taking them.
Yep.
Who else mentioned water pills? Just
everybody's
recently.
taking them. We're all taking water pills.
What are they? Do they give you water or take
Funny
water?
You should ask. I asked a emergency room physician friend of mine because I knew this would come up.
Who also does not want to be mentioned on this podcast and have any association with us.
He is amazing, and he told me this. He said water pills are usually diuretics, which are commonly prescribed for conditions like congestive heart failure, lymphedema, and lastly, he said diuretics are an old school weight loss tool. And I was like, that sounds like a housewife.
It's
thing.
like boomer generation, like women. It's like their version.
It's like when we're all taking, like, I'm going to go take my dolls.
It's their dump.
It's
their dump tea.
It's their dumb.
Yeah.
Or like when, like, douche or something. Kind of like
it just feels to me like an older, like 1960. I got my dolls to keep me up and I got my ladies to keep me down or whatever. You know what I mean? Like this little type of.
Yeah, my water pills.
And yeah, the risks far outweigh the benefits in his opinion. And because they can cause dehydration and electrolyte imbalance.
We saw.
Extreme risk of seizure or cardiac arrhythmias if you have those imbalances. But he says that the fact that they're blaming like their like drunkenness on water pills is actually not something that's incredibly common. Like that wouldn't be an initial.
That was
thing.
She had another pill working in that.
Well, he did say Xanax or Ativan will do that.
Yeah. And I bet she's taken one for up and one for down, and I love her and I support her.
And there's probably a water pill in there as well. She just, that wasn't the
water
problem.
pill was there too, but the water pill had nothing to do with all that.
Thank you, guys.
Wow, guys. This has been wonderful.
I've never written down so much during an interview.
I also think Cynthia Bailey's missing an opportunity for makeup as well, just because she has such beautiful skin and she's a model and so beautiful.
And Marlo. Something with Marlo.
Oh, Marlo.
Marlo, like clothes or?
I think Marlo could do a fashion site or like, you know, a lot of what people are doing now is like, I'll be your stylist online. I think Marlo is leaving money on the table if she's not, because she can pick it. She's amazing. She should do online in these times, in these COVID times. Look at people's closet, pick things for them to wear. She'd be amazing. Yeah.
Shop Marlo's closet.
Yes.
I should also recommend that people who are interested in trying La Dame is now on sale for $70, discounted from $71
on hsn.com.
Wow.
So you can save $1.
Just $1.
Yep.
She's basically saying, in these times, I'm going to give you $1.
You know, we got a bottle of La Dame for a live show in LA, and we got fans and wafted it into the crowd, and a few people left.
It was a tough smell.
What is it like? Who does it smell like? What is it?
It's
like.
It's overwhelming.
It is a grandmother smell. I'm not gonna. It wasn't terrible. It's just strong. A dab will do ya.
It actually wasn't terrible if you were like my grandma and you wanted to like make a stir at the nursing home.
Got it.
Or like you walk into the dinner hall at 3 p.m. like, and you want everybody,
but not terrible. Just strong.
You want people to smell you first.
Yeah, they know Evelyn's coming, you know?
And also RIP to V by Vicky, which was Vicky Gunvalson's fragrance.
Oh, how, yes, I think we smelled it and it was terrible. It was terrible.
It actually has great reviews on Amazon, so.
From all her grandchildren. This is not.
You know who I think should do a sex product line is that nut, on OC. What's her name? The new Bronwyn.
That's a good one.
I don't want to buy anything from her. I'm sorry. I don't trust her.
I don't want to buy any.
Is she back? Is she back?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't watched, but yes, she's coming back.
Yeah, she's back.
Interesting.
Guys, you're the best. I really appreciate all these hot takes, and please keep them coming to us if anything strikes you.
Anytime you need a research assistant for anything housewife related.
You guys are very thorough.
Yeah.
You're very thorough.
We're great at Googling.
Yeah.
And so on Eyewitness Beauty, really quick, because we're wrapping up, but like, do you just get into different product lines and just really get we can learn a lot, I feel.
Yeah, we do like our top stories and our take on like the week's top, the news of the week in the beauty industry. And then we do an interview, usually with someone who's hopefully in the news, like, or a founder of a cosmetic line, but we want to really make it different. Like if your like normal friend was interviewing someone, not like a sycophant interviewing someone or like a particularly insidery person interviewing someone. So it's fun. And then we do products of the week and we do arts and culture, which is mostly about Bravo. It's a grab bag.
Because that's an art and it's a culture.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Well, you guys are the best. I so appreciate it. And thank you for all of your necessary products. They were necessary.
Yeah. And Danielle, you're going to get it right after this.
I'll
see it and I'll try and go through my Instagram and see what I've done. Guys, again, it
seems like Danielle's leaving money on the table.
I am, because I don't know how to work my technology. Guys, I don't have to.
That makes me feel better. I've been like holding on to this. Like,
sorry.
Damn, she left me on red.
I don't even know what that means. I'm finding out for the first time. So thank you. Now I know. I'm sorry if I've left anyone else on red. I have no idea what I'm doing.
The more you know.
Guys, this has been lovely.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Nick of Eyewitness Beauty.
Thank you
guys. Are
It was so fun.
Thank you so much.
Keep on doing God's work because we need it. We all need it right now.
You guys, we need it. We need it all.
We need, this is kind of what we need right now. I really feel that.
And I also want to thank our previous guest, Moni, who was incredible too. So much insight, and go look up her on Instagram and her podcast, Mixing with Moni.
Thank you, Caitlin, for our editor. Thank you to our wonderful producer, Dana. And thank you, Danielle.
Thank me too.
Okay. Well, bye everyone.
Bye.
And now we're going to do a very brief, very extra special end to our show. As we all know, the election is upon us. And I've brought a dear friend and fierce activist, Meg Allan, on to enlighten us about a very, very important state my stepmom hails from, a state that Meg's family hails from. Meg, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. We're just going to do a little brief rundown, if you would, because we're so close to the election. Can you just enlighten many of us on what the great state of Pennsylvania, what it means for us?
Yes.
Of course, to get Joe Biden elected. So if you're hoping for the other thing, you might want to turn off or listen, actually.
Yeah, no one wants a repeat of Carol's election night party of 2016 in any facet. So
and it
to
didn't
not
help
repeat
it didn't help that she was, remember what was she? She was like on the building board and we all went through that special election with her.
We've gone through multiple elections with Carol and none of them ended the way that we wanted. So in order to create a different outcome, we need to know what states are super important. And Pennsylvania is the state that could decide this election. 538 says that Pennsylvania is actually so crucial. If Trump were to carry the state of Pennsylvania, he has an 84% chance of holding onto the White House. If Biden wins Pennsylvania, he has a 96% chance of winning. So state races are so important. We know that this election is obviously the fight of our lives and it impacts us on so many levels. But an evergreen takeaway from election 2020 is to always pay attention to state races.
Right.
So just like I can live in Virginia and still really appreciate and love the Housewives of Atlanta, we can live in a blue state like California or New York and support a swing state like Pennsylvania in so many different ways. So really importantly, state legislatures are the place where gerrymandering happens. And in a quick little nutshell, that's the most racist arm of our government. Gerrymandering is the way that state legislatures draw election maps with the clear intent to suppress votes of Black and brown people. This is not equal opportunity. It happens primarily in the GOP and it is blatantly racist. So in order to be actively anti-racist, it's something we need to pay attention to. How do we actually stop that? State races. Pennsylvania is a flippable state race. And so you can help it by obviously voting if you live in the state of Pennsylvania, phone banking, text banking. But what my husband and I did was create a giving circle, which will benefit the state of Pennsylvania down the ticket. We are barely keeping our ends met, just like everyone else in these COVID times. So we are working through this company, through a group called Future Now Fund. They're the Gloria Steinem endorsed group that is doing the work to analyze and fund flippable races. It's like they're basically giving us the resources and tools we all want to have on election night ahead of time so we can work smart and impact this race. So you can certainly donate to our giving circle, which we're so happy to have. We've raised $9,000 for the state of Pennsylvania with a $15,000 goal. But if you're hearing this podcast after the election, you can start your own in the midterms. Our top of the tickets are only as strong as the bottom of the tickets. And a group like Future Now Fund, like we are personally financing an amazing candidate like Claudette Williams, who is a Black woman, Jamaican-born, 30-year veteran who has 3 children and wants to use her amazing experience fighting for this country, making a fairer, kinder Pennsylvania in the state legislature. She's amazing. And it feels really good as a white woman who, I know that white people put Donald Trump in office. It feels good to me as a white woman to be putting my time and energy into supporting not only a Black candidate and progressive candidates in a state that could decide this, but a candidate that really, really needs that money. It's kind of like shopping in a small business as opposed to Walmart. Like local smaller candidates, they can go so far with a small donation. So it's a really great way to impact this race in these last few days, these last couple of weeks.
Yes, which these last few days are so crucial. So tell us how we can access your fund and I appreciate what you're saying, which is like, it doesn't even have to be money. If you can give in any way, shape or form, be it phone banking, or give
text
in the route that you have to go, to help Pennsylvania. But I think we're all just like, what can we do here in the end?
What can we do? And these last couple of weeks are actually so crucial because a lot of these races will be contested. And some of these candidates are people like you and me, and they've taken a second mortgage on their house to be able to run because they believe in this cause and how important this election is. So you can actually go to my website. I've directed it right to the Giving Circle, megallancole.com/vote to financially donate to Pennsylvania right now.
And that's Meg Allan with an A at the end. Meg Allan, ALLAN, Cole, COLE. What's the last part of it?
/vote. Just megallancole.com/vote, and it will redirect you to our Giving Circle. And Wonderful. You can go to Future Now Fund to look at which states are flippable, which states need our help. And after the 20th, they're going to have an account where you can donate to or just share around with other people. And that will really help people in that last push during these contested races. Some of the candidates that will have to hire lawyers to figure out what's going on because these last few weeks are going to be important.
Drag that motherfucker out of the White House.
Yes. Drag him kicking and screaming with COVID positive out.
Yeah. This is wonderful, Meg. Thank you for coming on. You're so knowledgeable. And I think you're right. Sometimes when, I live in California and I'm focused on a lot of like city council races, smaller races in a way, just because we do know where the state is going to go.
Absolutely.
Obviously voting for everything. And I want to throw my personal, one more thing, if I could, in for Californians to vote yes on Prop 14. There's been some small criticism about Prop 14 in terms of just, it's going to cost the state money. It is about healthcare and it is about chronic illness where right now, there's so many laboratories that have been doing testing to come up with new ways to treat and prevention for Alzheimer's, MS, ALS, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, but we're going to have to pay a small amount of money in order to continue. Like we're mid trials on so many wonderful trials that are going to make people's lives longer and better, and not just kind of managing symptoms, but preventative care. We are all going to have dealings. These issues and these healthcare things are going to touch all of our lives one day, and it will create 100,000 jobs in California. And it's just so important that we put money towards healthcare because we are on track, the state of California, to spend $3 trillion on simply care for Alzheimer's patients alone. So this is one of those things of like a little money now to make people's lives so much better down the road. And it's a bit of a misunderstood, bill. And also it's underfunded. So I just want to put in please, vote yes for Prop 14.
That's great.
If you know,
that's a great investment now for later.
Even if you don't, this is for, we're all going to be touched by this, and it's just simple humanity, and it will cost each household $5. That's a Starbucks. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much for using your platform to help this election. It's so crucial, this one and everyone here on out. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Meg.
Vote,
we got to flip
share.
to Pennsylvania. Go use Meg's Giving Circle, or just get out there and do whatever the fuck you can do.
Anything
Thank you, Meg
you
Allan.
can.
I appreciate it. Meg Allan Cole /vote.